Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. I call this January 30th, 2019 meeting of the Albuquerque-Bernalillo County Water Utility Authority to order. Commissioner Quezada will participate by telephone, and Commissioner Hart-Stebbins is excused, and Commissioner Piscotti will be her alternate. Good evening, Commissioner Piscotti. This is her first shot at this, a newly elected county commissioner. All other members are present. Let's have a moment of silence, then the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Piscotti, if she doesn't mind. Thank you. Thank you all. Thanks for joining us this evening. Just to let you know, we're going to change the order of a couple things on the agenda tonight. We will be moving the election of new officers to the last item on the meeting this evening, and I'm sure that's going to really disappoint you because it's terribly exciting, but last order of business. So let's start off with approval of the minutes. I make a motion to approve the December 4th, 2019 minutes. Second. There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say yes? Yes. Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Now comes the fun part. You all love to have me do this, don't you? This is the Quarterly Employee Incentive Awards. If the employee is here to receive the award, please come forward when your name is called. We like to see who you are, and we want to let you know how much we appreciate what you do for the Water Authority and all of the customers and all of us who get to take the credit for good work sometimes when you guys do it. So thank you. And in advance, I shall, of course, apologize that I am not good at pronouncing some of these names. So if you would like to step up to the mic and tell me how to pronounce your name after it's done, or if you just want to ignore it and laugh at me, that's fine also. So thank you all. Here are the Quarterly Employee Incentive Awards. The first is to Robert Maharis and Floyd Pena. They each received $250. Floyd and Jerry are recognized. Okay, this says Robert and Floyd, but now I'm saying Floyd and Jerry. I go by Jerry. Thank you, Jerry. I knew I could pronounce Floyd and Robert right, and I'm wondering what's going on here. Floyd and Jerry are recognized for their innovation in resolving a reliability and quality of two-way radio communications at the San Juan Chama Drinking Water Treatment Plant and at the Southside Water Reclamation Plant. Thank you. Next is Roland Roca, $250. Roland is recognized for going outside of his normal job requirements in adapting Maximo 7.6 work order system for use by the Water Authority's Fleet Services section. Thank you, Roland. Paul Harden, $100. PJ, I can do those. PJ is recognized for innovating a cost-saving method of refurbishing aging sampler batteries. Thank you, PJ. James Lopez, $200 plus 6 hours leave. James is recognized for his leadership in managing construction for the South Valley Drinking Water Project. To date, James and his staff have installed approximately 3 miles of water main, 140 water service lines, 25 fire hydrants, and 30 isolation valves, and moved 12,000 cubic yards of soil. Thank you. Dennis Sanchez, $100. Dennis is recognized for his efforts to deliver water to a disabled customer during an outage at an apartment complex in October of 2018. Thank you. Dennis isn't here, but he will get the money. Thank you. Thomas Heller, $50. Tom is recognized for making more than 20 successful presentations to homeowner and neighborhood associations regarding changes to the water waste and conservation programs, presentations that have generated letters of thanks from appreciative customers. Thank you, Tom. Okay, now I'm challenged. Mauricio Carrion and Porfirio Maestas, $150 each. Mauricio and Porfirio are recognized for their innovation and hard work in improvising a repair on a critical piece of sewage treatment equipment, potentially saving thousands of dollars in damage to other areas of the reclamation plant. Thank you. Councilor Pena laughed at me even if you didn't, so thank you.
I actually told her she did really well.
Thank you. Cassia Sanchez, Michael Richardson, Roger Gonzalez, Nick Jernigan, Arsenio Madrid, Hema Patel, and William Sanderson, $50 each. This team is recognized for their contributions in the area of data collection and analysis pursuant to important improvements in water system performance. Thank you all. John Ibia, Kamiar Kia, Timothy Chavez, and Charles Fernandez each get $250 plus 4 hours. These gentlemen are recognized for their successful management and implementation of critical upgrades to the SCADA system that controls operation of all water authority wells, pump stations, flow control valves, reservoirs, and water treatment systems. Their efforts generated potential savings to the Water Authority of approximately $1 million. Thank you. The next one, I have only Gallegos, so Gallegos, if you have a first name, come on down. Joshua Brown, Cruz Padilla, Nemesio Lopez, Eric Romero, Anthony Baca, Donald Harrison, Obed Marquez, Rudy Apodaca, Elias Ortiz, Steve Maldonado, and Isidro Padilla, Mark Gallegos, Angelo Baca, and Joshua Brown. Whoa. $100 plus 6 hours each. All the others, $50. I'm not sure who got 100 and who 50, but congratulations. These individuals are recognized for their innovation and teamwork in responding to a power outage last October that caused the failure of several sewer vacuum stations. Their quick thinking and hard work prevented potential overflows and property damage in the affected neighborhoods. Thank you. Thank you very much. Antonio Anaya Ars, Miguel Ulloa, Christopher Lucero, Dennis Sanchez, Ron Vigil, Ruben Cuellar, Alejandro Granadas, Jose Medina, Juan Martinez, and Bobby Trujillo, each $100. These individuals are recognized for their success in mitigating the impact to customers of valve location and isolation work in the vicinity of Rio Grande Boulevard and Candelaria ahead of utility relocation plan for that area. And we, as the Board of the Water Authority, thank you for everything that you do for our city and for us. Please come up and let us shake your hands. Congratulations. Okay, we are back to business. We have no more money to hand out, but we appreciate everyone who wants to stay and watch us conduct this meeting. Next on the list is, are we ready for this? Is public comment. Ready? How many do we have signed up? One. Okay, so the one speaker will have 3 minutes with a warning at 2.5 minutes.
Elaine Hubbard.
I thought I might get 6. One.
Good evening, Elaine. Thanks for being here. Yeah.
Otherwise, what would you do? Hi, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Elaine Hubbard, and as many of you know, I am a long-time attendee of these monthly meetings, and I try to make constructive suggestions to improve the water administration and the management of our precious resource. Today, I'll begin by, sorry, I have one of those colds. Today, I'll begin by repeating my suggestion that the to-be-developed groundwater management plan includes specific metrics to be achieved, as well as actions to be taken if those are not met. Policy A requires that the Water Board utilize an adaptive management approach to water resources planning and reporting. The water budget established shall be reported annually to the board and updated no less than 5 years. How do the 2015 water numbers, model numbers, compared to reality? Is there any need to update the water budget at this point? Not to mention that the adaptive management approach requires metrics as well. The water report presented during drought periods does not provide the board with much more than the drought status of the county and the water usage for the year to date compared with the previous year. But to properly evaluate drought conditions, the board should be aware that water usage compares in terms of ground and surface water, as well as how much was pumped last year versus this year. How does that compare with the modeled assumptions? Another related topic is the water report itself. The MRGCD has one at every meeting, which is twice a month, roughly. Topics include the Rio Grande Compact considerations, snowpack reports of the upper basin, as well as issues for irrigators and board members to be aware of. The ABC board only has these reports when there is a drought condition in Bernalillo County. While the county right now looks comparatively pretty good in terms of drought, the upper basin is still suffering from the impacts of last year's lack of snow. And as of today, both the San Juan Basin and the upper Rio Grande Basin have approximately 80% of snow water equivalent for this water year, which begins October 1st. So we're not out of trouble. As of today, as a part of the Colorado Basin, the Albuquerque board members might be aware that of any impacts which the drought contingency plan, which was reported in today's paper, might have on the availability of San Juan Chama project water for this coming year. Why not have a monthly water report, including information that the board needs to make their decisions on? Also related, why not have a report on whether the objectives have been met? The board receives no updates as to their status. The 2019 second quarter performances indicator report on today's agenda specifically does not give you a status report. Here's an example. Under Goal 4, Objective 2, the ABCWA was to update the Comprehensive Asset Management Plan by the end of 2018. That was extended to the end of 2019. It's still not out. That's really critical to move forward with all kinds of projects. So there's also a citizen group with the city, which is the Progress Indicators Commission. And Mr. Roth was chairing of that last year, and they just issued this report this past month. So maybe there could be a group that
Thank
would
you,
do
Ms.
that.
Hubbard. Thank you very much. I appreciate your coming to talk with us. That was our speaker for this evening. Under announcements and communications, the next scheduled meeting is February 27th, 2019 at 5 p.m. here in the Vincent E. Griego Chambers. We are also going to go ahead and move up a little bit and have a presentation. Our presentations, and the first one is Rio Grande Water Fund presentation by Laura McCarthy from the Nature Conservancy. Good evening. Thank you for being here.
Madam Chair and members of the board, thank you for having me. I'm Laura McCarthy with the Nature Conservancy Associate State Director, and with me is Sarah Hurto, who is the Urban Program Director for the Nature Conservancy based here in Albuquerque. Some of you may know her, and Catherine Uhas, you all know Catherine. So I'm going to give an update on the Rio Grande Water Fund, and let's see if...
In 2011, heavy rains following the Las Conchas fire sent ash and sediment from the burn area down the Rio Grande and into the reservoirs. Cities stopped using the water because it was so dirty. The Las Conchas fire was a wake-up call, and we heard it. New Mexico's forests are overcrowded with trees. Higher temperatures and ongoing drought, coupled with dry forests, create firestorms. Unhealthy forests threaten everything we know and love. The issue is bigger than any one agency or community could tackle. Something significant needed to happen to truly make a difference. In 2014, the Nature Conservancy created a network of stakeholders to cooperatively manage the forests and river. The resulting Rio Grande Water Fund works to restore 600,000 acres to secure water for 1 million people. This ambitious goal was matched with enthusiasm, drive, and hope. Now, more than 70 businesses, organizations, agencies, and investors embrace the Water Fund, enabling on-the-ground success. Case in point, flames burning as high as 100 feet in the air dropped to less than 4 feet when the Cajete fire moved into areas that had been thinned. This saved nearby communities and protected water supplies. Similarly, east of Albuquerque in the Manzanita Mountains, lightning sparked a fire. Instead of a catastrophe, the flames burned low to the ground thanks to recent forest restoration, which is removing small trees and dry vegetation to make the forest healthier and more resilient. The Rio Grande Water Fund is restoring 30,000 acres a year and is having a huge impact on the forest and community. Each thinning project supports up to 30-year-long jobs, grows local economies, and protects rivers and streams. The Nature Conservancy and the Rio Grande Water Fund are making a difference from Taos to Albuquerque. To learn more, visit nature.org/Rio Grande.
And so it was the 2120 plan and the spoke on the bottom right that created the policy, Policy J, for the Water Authority to be a participant in the Rio Grande Water Fund. And hopefully the video did a better job than I would have in concisely explaining why this is necessary. We have a 5-year agreement between the Nature Conservancy and the Water Authority. And so far, in 2 years of that agreement, $400,000 has been transferred. And so what I'm going to, my next 3 minutes will be just showing you where we've used that money. This map shows Belen to the Colorado-New Mexico line, which is our Rio Grande Water Fund project area. And in the upper left, you see outlined in red the San Juan Chama project area. That is shown in more detail on this map, and we decided that that was the best place to invest the Albuquerque Water Authority's money. You see here then there are 3 squares that are blue. Those are the diversion points, and the black line is a representation of the tunnel that carries the water into New Mexico from the Blanco and Navajo. This map overlay shows the fire risk in those watersheds, and the green letters A through M are the projects, the places where we have actually used funding from the Water Authority and the MRGCD to invest in thinning. This is the project list. I won't go into that in any detail. This is the kind of equipment that has been used. And now I'm going to show you 4 images of before-after of the thinning treatments. And if you look at this one, what you want to be looking at is the space between the trees, before and after. This is in the Blanco watershed. And here's another image. If I can get it, there we go. And you can see how dramatically different the forest looks after you remove the overgrown brush and trees. And in this one, which is in the Navajo watershed, you can see what are called by the foresters ladder fuels. So if you can imagine fire moving across the ground, when it hits those small trees, it then has a pathway up into the treetops. But in the image on the right, you can see that that is not going to happen. And then last one, what's striking about this one is in the left, before you couldn't even tell that it was on a hill. And now after it's had the thinning and been restored, and it will have prescribed fire, it will come back as a much more natural forest. And that's it. So we're doing all of this because it's where our water comes from. We really appreciate the partnership with the Water Authority and look forward to 3 more years under the Memorandum of Agreement. And with that, if you have any questions for us or any feedback, we are happy to receive it now or at any other time.
Anybody have any questions? I actually, so what is the effect of wildlife, birds, and this thinning?
Sarah is actually a wildlife biologist,
Okay.
so why don't you take that?
Sure. Madam Chair, councilors, I'd be happy to tell you about how this happened. So usually when a fire burns in the understory of the forest across the ground, animals and other wildlife have the ability to move out of the way because it's slow and low burning. When the fire is able to get into the canopy, that's when you see these sort of catastrophic events where wildlife are unable to get out of the way of a fast-moving and high-severity fire. So these forest restoration treatments really provide an opportunity for us to think about how to manage the habitat that is going to create the situation where wildlife can thrive in these restored forests.
Okay. No, I was just wondering if some of the older trees and these brush piles and that, those are habitats, right, for birds and other animals. So, but I guess there's also the larger risk, which is the fires, what you're saying.
Yeah, it's really interesting to think about the balance and the dynamic across a large landscape. And so that's what the Rio Grande Water Fund is really doing, and thinking about how do we plan not just for a single place in a single moment in time, but how do we manage the forest over a broader landscape to make sure that those species of interest have habitat that can grow and thrive along with the populations over the landscape.
Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. I came down because I handed Catherine my phone with some pictures. We were blessed to have a little cabin up at the end of the canyon, just not at all the way at the end at Conchas, at the Cochiti. And this is what happens. Literally, it looks like a moonscape. There is nothing left. The trees are lines of ashes. We had a log cabin. It melted the windows, the metal roof, and a cast iron potbelly stove literally disappeared and melted. You can't believe that this has happened on our earth. It is unbelievable. And had the forest been thinned and maintained, this probably wouldn't have happened.
Exactly. And, you know, for our state, if that were ever to happen in the Blanco and Navajo watersheds, it's unthinkable.
The flood afterwards is what was devastating for everything, just because it was a high-walled, narrow canyon, just rolled down. There was nothing left alive in front of it. Councilor Sanchez.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I had one question, and I'm really pleased to see these numbers. And my curiosity is, how realistic are these goals? The restoration goal of 30,000 acres per year, or 600,000 acres over a 20-year period?
First of all, go big or go home was the motto, but in your packets is the 2018 annual report. And since the launch in 2014, we have restored 108,000 acres. So I think we are on track to reach 600,000 acres in, I guess we have 16 years to go.
That's great news. Thank you.
Commissioners, are there any other questions? Thank you for being here. Thank you. And this is a very important issue.
Thank you.
Thank you. And our next speaker is Steve House from Triple H Solar LLC with a solar energy update.
evening, Madam Chair, board
Good evening.
members. I'm here just to give you a quick update on your efforts with solar energy projects at your facilities. I think you have, thank you. I can do it without it. That's all right. Anyway, I just want to give you an overview of some of the things that you probably already know, some new developments, and then in the slide packet that you have, there's some graphics that show you where these projects are. Excuse me. So for the South Side plant, you have an existing solar array down there that you're aware of. It's 1 megawatt project. Saves you approximately $200,000 a year. That project's been there and in place since about 2011. We have another 3 megawatts that we're working on. The combined production of those projects has the possibility of saving you $750,000 a year off your energy bill. Please ask questions too as I'm walking through this. At the water treatment plant, you have an existing, relatively new 1.7 megawatt, it's a single axis tracking array. It's a 25-year term, and it is going to be saving about $425,000 a year off your energy bill. We just yesterday reconfigured the new array that's going in down there in conjunction with the new facilities, the new admin facilities. It's going to be a 6.2 megawatt array. It'll be the largest covered parking solar array in the state. And then it's going to save about $530,000 a year. And then we have one more that is also in development. It's going to be a project that you're going to do in conjunction with the city and the county, hopefully, the city, the county, and the DOT, and it's over at the Alameda parking lot there by the river. And it, excuse me, it's for the raw water diversion pump station, and it has the potential of saving about $200,000 a year. So the percentages that are shown here for each of these are fairly accurate, with the exception of the percentages of solar energy used. The San Juan Chama project, instead of it being 28%, that's now going to go up about 7% with the new system increase there. And I am happy to walk through these aerials with you if you like. This is at the South Valley plant, the existing array you have. It's a single axis, or excuse me, it's a fixed axis ground mounted array. These next several slides are also at the South Valley Water Rec plant. These are covered parking. On this slide, these are also covered parking facilities. This this particular area is still under, we're still looking at it, but it has the potential to be a ground mount single axis tracker, much like the one that's at the water treatment plant now. This is that same array, the relatively new single axis tracker at the water treatment plant. And this area here is where the new facilities and the new covered parking array will be at the water treatment plant. And I think finally this is the area we're proposing for covered parking for the raw water diversion station. With that, I'll stand for any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions? I'm kind of adding this up in my head, and it looks to me like we're right around $2 million so far, and that's You're going to be talking real money before long if we keep this up, aren't we?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, thank
Oh,
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you for giving us the information. We appreciate your being here. Are there any questions now? All right, thank you, sir. Next on our agenda is the introduction or first reading of legislation. And this is the amendment to the approved operating budget of the Albuquerque-Bernalillo County Water Utility Authority for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2019. Mr. Allred, good evening.
Good evening, Madam Chairman and members of the board. This is the first reading of an amendment to the 2019 budget. There's basically two items on here. One's that add an additional $500,000 for money we give to the Bureau of Reclamation for repairs and maintenance on the San Juan Chama flow from up north. They're doing some extra work. So this year when we budgeted, we did it based on prior years. We had a bill in the first quarter, and they're doing some extra work, and it equals to about an extra $500,000 for this fiscal year. So this is the increased appropriation for that. And also the last item for increased appropriation is the interest payment for the 2018 bonds that we sold in October of this year. The first payment is due June 31st. It's for $636,000. So I'm asking for an appropriation for that. All these appropriations will come from existing fund balance, and it equates to about 1/3% of the fund balance total. And I stand for any questions. I'm sorry.
Are there any questions? Thank you. We'll see you next meeting. Thank you, sir. Moving right along to the consent agenda, I'd like to make a motion to remove and defer item E to the February 27th board meeting. There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Motion carries. Now I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving right along to 9, which is approvals. The first one is R 1826, amending funds for the capital implementation program of the Albuquerque-Bernalillo County Water Utility Authority for the fiscal year 2019. Oh my goodness, Mr. Allred, thank you.
Madam Chairman, members of the board, this is the mid-year budget adjustment for our capital implementation program. What it primarily does is, per the request of the Department of Finance and Administrative Services from the state of New Mexico, we're appropriating unspent appropriations from fiscal year 2018 and moving them forward to 2019. And then we're also on various activities within CIP. We're moving unspent funds to funds that may be overspent or need more funding for projects that need to be encumbered against. And I stand for any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
Move approval?
Second, there's a motion and a second for approval. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks you, Mr. Allred. And the next is you again. It's C 19-4, Comprehensive Annual Financial Report for the fiscal years ended June 30th, 2018 and 2017.
Madam Chairman, members of the board, this is a communication required by the Office of State Auditor. We submitted our 2018 CAFR to the state auditor on November 21st, I believe. It was released by the state auditor's office by November 20th or December 20th of this year. We did have a exit conference. Madam Chairman attended as a representative of the board for that. And just real quick, if you read page 20 of, on your own leisure of the CAFR, it states, the financial statements referred to above presents fairly in all materials respects the financial position of the Water Authority as of June 30th, 2018 and 2017, and the changes in the financial position and the cash flows, thereof of the years then it ended in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States of America. So just let you know, it's 5 years in a row now we've submitted a CAFR on time, and we're very proud of that.
Thank you, Mr. Allred. We appreciate that. I make a motion, are there any questions? Make a motion to approve. There's a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say yes. Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Mr. Roth, you're new here tonight. I thought it was Mr. Allred's show. This is item C, FY 2019, second quarter performance indicator report.
Madam Chair, members of the board, the indicators in front of you are aligned to the goals and objectives, benchmarking the customer opinion survey, and are presented by the service level categories of regulatory, reliability, quality, customer service, and finance. At the end of the second quarter, we achieved our targets in 17 of the 22 indicators. 5 are still a work in progress. One of them I'd like to focus on is under reliability, which is injury time. Here you can see it's reported at 649 hours. This is the lowest it's ever been recorded at this point of the fiscal year.
Wow.
And this performance is really helpful in terms of achieving our work-related injuries. This is a report that's produced by OSHA that's required at the end of each calendar year. This graph shows the ratio of employee lost days to total work hours by all employees. As you can see, there's a significant decrease since 2006, almost a 100% decrease. And workplace safety is a top priority of the Water Authority. The indicators that you saw in the previous slide, we certainly could not have reached 17 of 22 targets if we were still at 2006 levels. I'd be happy to answer any questions on any of these indicators.
Thank you. Questions? Ms. Nair.
No question. I just wanted to shout out Mr. Roth for his work for the city's Indicators Progress Commission. This year we doubled the number of meetings. We quadrupled the participation. We made them have one bilingual. We probably 7 times increased the work of the commission, and Mr. Roth did a fabulous job as he does with this one as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I just have a question about the dramatic decrease in the work-related injuries. What accounts for that?
Many of the, creating a light-duty program, creating incentives, communicating is really the key. Communicating where we are, how this is not acceptable, and how we have to become more closer to what you see as the U.S. median, that black line, which we are now under the median at this point. Also, in terms of developing safe work incentives and more recently, our wellness program.
Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roth. Any other questions? Then I move approval of C-19-5. There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say yes. Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Last agenda item is the election of officers. So we will be electing 2 officers, a chair and a vice chair. I open the floor for nominations for chair. Councilor Sanchez.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I would like to nominate Commissioner Debbie O'Malley as chairman.
Are there any other nominations? Nominations will close then. I move, I guess it's by acclamation.
Second.
All those in favor by acclamation say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Motion carries. Congratulations, Chairman O'Malley.
Thank you very much.
Next is vice chair. Are there any nominations?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
would like to nominate Councilor Carissa Pena for Vice Chair.
Are there any other nominations? Then I make a motion that Councilor Pena be elected as vice chair by acclamation. Motion a second. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Motion carries. Congratulations, ladies. And that is our last true business of the evening, except for our usual recognition.
Okay, so there is a gift that we would like to give the chair. She's down here somewhere.
It's down here.
Okay.
That's fun, isn't it?
And thank you for serving as chair this last year, Councilor Jones. Oops. Okay, this is yours. And I get one too.
Yes. And Commissioner O'Malley, here is a lovely gift for you for serving as vice chair. Thank you for serving and look forward to seeing you next year. And congratulations. Counselor Pena. With that, is there any other business? The meeting is adjourned.
I'm going to open this up.